Meredith, you all set?
I just have to change the vehicle. Okay, yes.
Okay, I'm recording.
Okay.
Please rise. I'd ask Madam Mayor Dillon to please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone, and welcome to the Borough of Ramsey Mayor and Council Work Session. This meeting is also being conducted telephonically. The dial-in number is 425-436-6365. Access code 213563. This meeting may also be viewed on the Ramsey YouTube channel. The YouTube channel. The New Jersey roll call, please.
Mayor Dillon,
Here.
Councilwoman Cusick,
Here.
Councilman Grissoni,
Here.
Councilman Gutwetter,
Here.
Councilman Kilman,
Here.
Councilman Popolo,
Here.
Councilwoman Poppy.
Here. And thank you, and we've already done our flag salute. So the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of all citizens to have advance notice of and to attend all meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting the public is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, notice of this meeting of the Mayor and Council was published in the Bergen Record and the Suburban News on Wednesday, January 15, 2026, and is posted on our legal notices page at www.ramseynewjersey.com. May I please have an approval of the minutes?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the March 25th, 2026 meeting.
Thank you, Councilwoman, and this is Councilwoman Cusick, and I second. Any comments or additions? Hearing none, and let's move on to communications. Roll call, please. Thank you, everybody. May I please have a roll call?
Councilwoman Cusick.
Yes.
Councilman Grissoni,
Yes.
Councilman Gutwetter,
Yes.
Councilman Kilman,
Yes.
Councilman Popolo,
Yes.
Councilwoman Poppy.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. May I please have the communications?
Yes, Council President. I make a motion to receive and file the communications as listed on our agenda for April 8th, 2026.
I'll second it.
Thank you very much. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Cusick.
Yes.
Councilman Grissoni,
Yes.
Councilman Gutwetter,
Yes.
Councilman Kilman,
Yes.
Councilman Popolo,
Yes.
Councilwoman Poppy.
Yes.
Thank you. Public comment. Anyone wishing to address the governing body, please give your name, spelling the last name, and address. Please speak in an audible tone and address your comments to the chair. There will be a 5-minute time limit per speaker unless reduced because of the volume of business on the agenda. Please note public comment is your time. Out of respect and fairness to all, there'll be no interruptions or questions answered during your time. No time shall be ceded to anyone else, and no time shall be saved for later use. Any responses may be given during the governing body's comments later in the meeting or as directed by the chair. The borough clerk is the official timekeeper. And I see 2 people in chambers tonight, but wonder, would you make a public comment? No? Thank you. There's no one else in chambers. Let me go to the telephone. Is there anyone on the line that would like to make public comment?
I'm sorry, Bruce, the monitors went off.
Let me ask for a second time. Is there anyone on the line who would like to provide public comment? And a third and final time for public comment. Not hearing any, we will close public comment. I would like to make a motion now to go out of order in this evening's meeting to review our special presentation.
Yes, I will reinforce that motion to go out of order for the Ramsey Police Department's traffic unit special presentation.
Thank you. I guess that's the motion. Then
You want me to second it?
you can second
Go ahead.
it. Thank you. May I please have a roll call?
Councilwoman Cusick?
Yes.
Councilman Grisoni?
Yes.
Councilman Gutwetter?
Yes.
Councilman Kilman?
Yes.
Councilman Papalo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Poppy?
Yes.
Lieutenant. Patrol Officer, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having us tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you all in attendance. I appreciate everyone coming here. So, we are here to talk about Island Road, traffic calming principles and techniques to help alleviate some traffic issues that have come up. So, a couple of the things that we've discussed in the last couple of meetings here, between planning board meetings and the council meetings, is that there's abundance of issues on the roadway, whether it's speeding, traffic volume, and how you combat those issues. So I'm going to introduce myself and Officer Dan real quick. So for all of you in attendance, my name is Lieutenant Mike Donato. I was originally hired as a Midland Park Police Officer in 2010, transferred to the great Borough of Ramsey in 2013, and since then I've been in the traffic division. So that's about 13 years, give or take. In 2017, I became an investigator for the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office Fatal Accident Investigation Unit, quite a mouthful. I've been there ever since, so it's a little over 9 years. I'm one of 20 officers in the county that investigate fatal crashes and serious motor vehicle crashes in the entire county. So it takes quite a skill. Again, one of 20 that are allowed to testify in Superior Court for any of these crashes that occur within the county. I will hand over to Officer Amy Hill.
That's a tall act to follow, but good evening, Mayor, Council, residents that are watching. My name is Patrolman Danny Gilly. I've been with the police department since 2013. More recently, the traffic division in 2023. Also, I've served in your United States Coast Guard since 2004. I'll be hitting my 22nd year in May. In the Coast Guard, I do aids to navigation, waterways, emergency management, so a common theme here, roadway safety, waterway safety, so that's my experience here.
Sounds like you're an expert. So Danny, could you take us over for the traffic data for Island Road?
Yes, so I was tasked by Lieutenant to collect data for the last...
You all have this, right?
Yes, for approximately a week on Island Road regarding speeding. So I put the speed data collection signs for, I believe, in excess of 6 days to collect as much data as we could. In doing so, I had one on the facing northbound traffic and southbound traffic, one before Addison and one after Addison. The southbound, and excuse me for using my job aid, it's pretty technical information. The southbound lane collected 2,519 vehicles during that six and a half day period. Northbound collected almost 3,100 vehicles that detected per day. Make sure I make that clear. Total of 5,602 vehicles per day that travel down that roadway today. The 85th percentile speed southbound was about 33.44 miles per hour, and northbound speed was 35.04 miles per hour. And before anyone asks the question, what is 85th percentile? What does that mean? Why do we use it? It's a very common data capturing, for a better word. It's a mathematical equation which I don't have in my hand. It's Lieutenant's better at algebra than I am, but it basically says that by using the 85th percentile, we eliminate the drivers that are going 11 miles an hour and something way over 25 miles an hour. It gives us a more accurate picture of what people normally drive on that roadway. So drivers are more comfortable driving and are driving 85% of them at 33 and 35 miles per hour.
So just based on the 85th percentile speeds that are in front of all of you, they are above the posted speed limit of 25 miles per hour. So that usually shows that there is a speeding issue on Island Road. So 9 times out of 10, when we pull data on a lot of these streets that we get complaints about, whether it's Myrtle, Grove, Whitehawk, Darlington, you name it, we've done it. The speeds are very close to the speed limits. So if the speed limits say 25 or 35 on Woodland, I mean, Woodland usually is less than 35, usually closer to 30. But when we put it on Forest last year, speed limit's 25 miles an hour. The 85th is 22 to 24. So that's what we're working with here. So usually the 85th is at the speed limit or just a little bit below. So we're looking at something that's a little bit higher. So that's why we're here today to try to rectify this issue.
Northbound is towards 17,
Northbound is towards Route 17. So leaving Finch Park and you're going towards the highway. That would be northbound.
so the speeds are actually higher
Going
going
away.
to the rather than off.
Correct.
Interstate.
Yep.
And the number of cars are more going towards it. Okay.
Just to continue on, the average speed southbound is 26.89 miles per hour, and the northbound was 30.42 miles per hour average. Since 2022 to present, your officers have issued 466 summonses on that road, just to make sure that we are maintaining a standard in your way.
That's quite a lot of enforcement for a smaller roadway. So, I mean, you'd see more summonses issued, say, on Whitecloth Ave, North Central, Darlington. The highway obviously is way more, but for 466 summonses to be issued on a side road, I mean, that's a lot of enforcement. So we're out there. I know a couple of residents not here today, but they've come up to me after one of the planning board meetings, and they know that we're out there. They always see us out there. They're thanking us for it. So people are aware that we are writing tickets, but a lot of this, as Officer Dane can attest to, a lot of these people are from out of town that are using this roadway. Whether it's going to Main Street, cutting through to Addison to go to the Interstate Shopping Center on the back road, but a lot of these people that are coming and traversing Island Road are from out of town. So we're going to go to the next slide, which is traffic data for Island Road. Continue. So on your little picture there is a highlighted map of Island Road. So we pulled the data between Church Street and Route 17. So out of the 20 crashes since 2022 that have occurred on that side road, which is about normal for a small local cut through, 0 of those 20 crashes can be attributed to speeding. 3 of the 20 were DWIs. 3 of them were distracted drivers. 1 being, as one of the residents said, was the white vehicle that rolled over, the elderly lady that hit the parked car and rolled her car. She got nervous when the automatic braking system popped up on her dashboard, panicked, and hit a car. She was only doing 20 miles an hour, but she hit perfectly and rolled her vehicle. So that's one of the distracted drivers. There's 5 improper turns, and that also includes the traffic light at Route 17 and Spring Street. So people making the illegal left or a right turn into a vehicle at the yield sign, etc. So that's including that intersection. 1 medical emergency, someone was having a seizure. That was the pickup truck that drove into the building at 450 Island. So again, that's not a speeding thing. That was a medical emergency. So a lot of people like to use that to say that there's an issue on Island. It's another one that had nothing to do with speed, and it just was a bad timing on a medical emergency. 4 were failure to yield. Again, that's the same thing with Route 17, Spring Street, as well as Addison and Island. It's people not observing the stop sign or coming to a complete stop and rolling into somebody. 2 were weather-related, whether it's ice, rain, snow, etc. And 2 were following too closely, which were at Addison, where someone comes to a stop sign, they're too close to the vehicle, they think the car in front of them, start rolling forward, make a right or left turn, and then they hit them. Again, not a catastrophic incident, not contributed to speed whatsoever. It was just something following too closely and couldn't stop their vehicle. So again, none of this crash data shows that there is a catastrophic speeding issue or something that's out of control with the amount of volume. To have nearly 6,000 cars a day and only have 20 crashes in 4 years, that's pretty good. Dan, you want to hit the next one?
So traffic calming. I think we've shown through the strict and prudent, fair enforcement on Island Ave that it's not enough to get that 85th percentile number down, right? So we have to move to the next phase of how do we get it where we. It slows vehicle travel speeds and minimizes cut-through traffic. The community impact increases access for all modes of travel and enhances the overall street environment, and reduces enforcement needs. Self-enforcing designs can lower the constant need for police monitoring. So some ideas, which I know Lieutenant did a lot of digging on this, but there's a lot of good ideas, or at least they sound good, but in practice they've shown up otherwise. So these ideas have been implemented in the surrounding towns. I believe Lieutenant mentioned a couple: Ridgewood, Franklin Lake, Whitehall. So speed bumps. They are hard to maintain for DPWs, especially with the snow conditions that we get up here in the Rocky Mountains, I think it's called. The only temporary slowdown vehicle, and vehicles are observed speeding in between those speed bumps. So they're kind of they're not the best. Rumble strips. Those are the raised grooves in the roadway that are only effective due to the noise and vibrations of the driver. These create more noise in the residential areas, especially at night. More signage. Drivers don't comply with current signage because we have plenty of signage, at least what we think so far, and we still have that. So just to elaborate on the speed bumps, talk to the DPW superintendent on landing, who is adamant that DPW does not want the speed bumps mainly for plowing purposes. So a lot of times, especially with the last two big storms that we got in New Jersey, where it's a foot or 2 feet of snow, you're not seeing that speed bump, and that's going to break the plow, it's going to damage the trucks. It's a maintenance issue on a lot of the trucks. So that's one of the big reasons for DPW not doing it. One of the big things also with speed bumps is in Franklin Lakes. There's one notoriously on Woodside in front of one of their schools. Until recently, they had a huge pothole on the other side of the speed bump, which was damaging a lot of cars. They were getting a lot of complaints, making a lot of noise. And as their traffic sergeant has mentioned many and many times, is that people speed up to the speed bump, slow down to 10 miles an hour just to get over it, and then they take off and do 40 again on that side. So everyone's hyper-focused on the speed bump and not the surroundings around it. So especially where there's kids walking by the park at Finch Park, you don't want people to hyper-focus on the speed bump and not focus on the residents walking along the road. The rumble strips, Whitehall Township PD has also received a bunch of complaints. They have them on Lafayette in Whitehall. The rumble strips make a lot of noise, especially at night. So all you're hearing all night long is the vibration of the cars going over speed bumps. Kind of takes away from the atmosphere of the residential neighborhood. And obviously the signs, I need to clarify, there's more than enough signs out there. So going on to the next page, we have some traffic calming recommendations for Island Road. One of them being pavement markings. So there are some pavement markings currently on Island Road. There are two, one by Finch Park going northbound and one coming off of the highway going southbound. We'd like to add a couple more closer to the Addison. So people get numb to it as they come off the highway. They see the flashing speed line sign, but they're not looking at the roadway. So if we have another one closer to Island where they speed back up, we maybe have a little bit more compliance on that. And it would be the same thing going northbound, throw another one just north of Addison in that general vicinity. Kind of help a little bit. The second one would be lane narrowing. Add white fog lines to make the driver believe the roadway is narrower than it really is. Currently, that southbound lane coming from the highway is 13 feet wide. So it already feels tight as it is. We can legally minimize that lane even further. There's no truck traffic allowed over 4 tons. So it's not like we're pushing tractor trailers on the wrong side of the road here. We can narrow it just to, I would say, about a foot. Narrow it brings everyone's driver's eyes to those narrow roadways. So you're thinking they're squeezing through in their large SUVs, but really they're not. It's the same lane, but it's a driver focus thing where they'll hyper focus on those lines a little bit more and slow down. Thing like third one. Parking stalls. So I know that there's parking stalls right in front of 450 Island Road, the apartment complex. That was a measure used, and I'm not exactly sure when they added those, but maybe quite some time. That was a measure of creating a narrower roadway to reduce speeds. Our idea was to just add them right as it bends around. I have the approximate address location at 454 to 492 Island. That's just when that bend starts. The residents there are already parking on their front lawn. This would provide them a better aesthetic. They could park in the actual roadway in a marked stall, but also would narrow that roadway even further. And I think it'll give a great street feel. Yeah, so if you look at that top picture is what it currently is, that general vicinity that Officer Gilly has mentioned. Below that is a good old artificial intelligence picture that added the parking stalls. It's wide enough to add parking stalls, so it's not like we have to re-engineer the street. It should help with that northbound that's
well over the speed limit there on the 85th percentile.
You would do the parking stalls with essentially a fog line on them
Correct.
as well.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it'll completely narrow that and change that area, especially the northbound area section. There, again, it is wide enough, and what we've noticed in our years of traffic enforcement on Island Road, when people get past Addison and 450 Island, they get around that bend, and then I'm getting to Route 17, or I'm going Spring Street to Franklin Turnpike, so they just speed back up and get to 40 miles an hour. And, yeah, Officer Dave and I are sitting there with our radar guns and, had a field day, but I don't want to be there out there as much, and neither does he. We want to focus on other streets, and then I think that this would help us significantly, at least in that section.
So, last but not least, it's a little bit of a reiteration, but after our combined experience and as your technical experts for this event, we humbly and respectfully, this is our proposed changes, which is extend those existing fog lines for the entire length of the northbound side, and the fog lines on the southbound side, and the additional parking stalls, and the slow 25 mile an hours that are already in place right around that bend. It's right before, I think it's right before the bend. Just add additional ones closer to Addison. And then last but not least, we'll put that additional digital speed sign on the northbound side, just like the one that's on the southbound side.
Where would the lines come down to towards the park? How far down are you going? You just going to Addison?
We go down to Church Street. So you're talking about the fog lines, correct, sir?
What?
The fog lines? Yeah, I would go all the way down to Church Street. Keep that flow going. You can probably end it at the north parking lot of Fitch Park, because it's already that tighter bend with the guardrails. So you don't need them going around there.
So basically down to the park.
Correct, yeah. All these proposed changes are fiscally responsible compared to other changes that we've seen in other jurisdictions in this area. So another big one that Whitehawk has done in the past, which hasn't really worked out too well for them, is Cedar Hill. Going down the hill is red pavement. It's a stickier, spongier pavement, but it costs to the tune of $250,000 to do that small section of Cedar Hill to help slow people down.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work. It failed. Now there's potholes in it. They have to repaint it anyway because it can't be red according to the county now. So they have now changed it to black, so now they've painted it twice over the course of those many years. And it's still not working to the way they thought it would. But that's another thing. Another raised intersections you could do, raised walkways. But again, you're looking at 50 to 100 grand to do a raised crosswalk. Say, whether it's bricks, cobblestone, etc., or even just more asphalt, it still costs a ton of money to add these things where the painted lines should be more than enough to help slow everything down. But again, that's our proposal. I don't know if anybody has questions here.
Yeah, please. Any questions, folks?
You said you see them after they pass Addison going out to the highway speed up.
Yes.
But you're talking about putting the speed sign prior to Addison?
Yes.
There's an existing one.
So there's one existing going south coming up the highway.
Right.
Is what we're-
Right.
So we want to put one on the straightaway before Addison. The reasoning is if we put it beyond Addison, you have all the street parking at 450 Island.
Right.
It's not going to capture anything, which we've had issues with our portable signs. So you have all the street parking there. When you're on a bend, it won't capture very
Right.
well.
Yeah. No.
And then when you're north of that, as Officer Gillies said, residents are already parking half on the road, half on the sidewalk. There's not going to be any room for that sign, and it's going to be blocked by those cars too. So you're going to invest a
Right.
decent penny into one of these. You want it to work.
How far up will the parking stalls be going up north?
It would go up to 492, I believe they had it written down, right?
Approximately 492. 454 to 492.
So just after that bend, so there's parking stalls in front of 450. You have that second 454. Yeah. So you have the second entry parking lot that they have, that auxiliary parking lot, 450 Island Parklands. Just past that is the beginning of the bend. So we can start that again at that straightaway. There's no reason to put a car on the bend.
Yeah.
Regular parking there anyway, but at least we have marked stalls. It'll look more appealing to the eyes as well versus people parking on half on the sidewalk, half on the park.
Does that essentially go to the end of that row of houses there?
They will go basically to,
Not all of you.
yeah, it's just about 2 houses shy of that Spring Street overpass. Because if you put them too close, then it gets a little narrower again to go onto that yield over the highway.
You have 2 digital signs there now, correct? I think I saw one.
We have portable ones.
Okay, the portable.
Yes. Yeah, we have 2 portable digital signs, but we have one permanent one that's hardwired in. We can use one that's similar to the air mount signs that we have that we're using solar. So we have 2 signs on air mount that are permanent using solar power instead of having to run wires and electricity from ONR to get approval. The solar panels work just fine, especially if we're south of Addison, there's plenty of sunlight there. We don't have to worry about cutting trees or anything like that like we had to do there now.
Any other questions? So I really want to thank the Public Safety Committee, Lieutenant and Patrol Officer. And I'd just like to, I think it's the recommendation of the Public Safety Committee to go ahead with these 5 proposed changes that are in the presentation. I'm seeing some nods. Do I need to make a roll call on this, Madam Council? Mr. Bersani has a question.
So the solar signs, do you actually get tickets?
No,
Oh,
we
no,
can't
no.
in New Jersey, we cannot. So you can't do speeding enforcement or turn enforcement in the state of New Jersey anymore. They had a pilot program for stoplights and intersections for about 5 years. They deemed it unconstitutional in the state of New Jersey, where other states are still using it. Our border state, New York and PA, are both using speed cameras, but New Jersey, it's not allowed to use it. We do, but people still think those cameras are cameras. Yeah, they think the sensors on the camera, on the traffic lights are cameras. They're not, but they're worse on cameras sometimes where people stop because they think they're being filmed. The speed signs do have the capability of taking pictures, which we do get. If someone hits them by accident, you have the landscapers nudge them with the weed whackers by accident. Excessive speeds, we do get pictures and alerts of vehicles. Again, we can't act on them per se, but I can call you and be like, Councilman, sorry, you were doing 92 on air mount now. Maybe slow down. You know?
That's it?
Is there any need to check in with our borough engineer on these items?
We certainly can, yes, I'll send him a copy of this. Sure.
Thank you. Thank you. So what I'd like to do now, since there are no other questions, is to make a motion, please, to approve the proposed changes as outlined in the Ramsey Police Department presentation, traffic calming principles and techniques for Island Road, on the second to last page of the presentation, please. Someone make a motion.
You just made the motion.
I made the motion. Thank you. I am making a motion. May I please have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cusick?
Yes.
Councilman Grisoni?
Yes.
Councilman Gutwetter?
Yes.
Councilman Kilman?
Yes.
Councilman Popolo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Poppy?
Yes.
Gentlemen, thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you
so
so
much
much
for the presentation and your time.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Thanks for the studies. Thanks. Take care.
Thank you.
Mike, Dave, where were your traffic counts there?
Okay.
Where were the traffic counts taken?
They were
For
just
northbound?
northbound was just south of Addison. So that's speed limit.
So anybody who was just going to like interstate would be in that count, but not necessarily in the drag where you thought they were speeding.
Yeah, because we can't
Right.
put the signs in.
Right.
We've done it in the past to know it, but
Yeah. Okay.
it's still crazy that before Addison, there's that much speed too.
Right.
Because we're coming around.
Which is probably why that's higher too, because you have all the people going up to interstate.
Yeah. Yep.
Higher than southbound.
Yeah. It's a little odd, but yeah.
Yeah.
I wish we could record better on the other end, but it's just near impossible the way people park.
Understood. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
All right, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Good night. May I please make a motion, get a motion? May I please get a motion from someone to go back into order?
Yes, I make a motion to go back into regular order.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Going back to our agenda. All in favor, please?
Aye.
Okay. The advertised public hearing for final consideration of ordinances. Our first ordinance is an ordinance amending the code of the Borough of Ramsey, Bergen County, New Jersey, and more specifically, Chapter 17 thereof, so as to establish Section 17-6 entitled Lead Water Service Line Replacement. Having been brought up for public hearing, and all persons interested having been given an opportunity to be heard, pass final reading by title, and that said ordinance be adopted as an ordinance of the Borough of Ramsey, and be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be, and she hereby is, directed to cause a copy of the title of said ordinance to be published in an official newspaper of the Borough in the manner provided by law, together with a notice of the date of introduction and adoption of said ordinance.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Councilman Duttwetter. I'd like to open this ordinance for final, for public comment, please. For a public hearing. Thank you. Having seen no one approach the podium, and would anybody on the phone like to comment on ordinance 08-2026? Having heard no one on the telephone, I will ask the Borough Clerk. I would ask, thank you, Peter. I would ask if there's any comments or questions from the council on this particular ordinance.
Do you want Mr. Rose to comment on it?
I can actually comment on this
Okay,
one, Madam Mayor. This one is an extension to our lead service line replacement incentive timing until December 31st, 2026 for property owners who have been noticed that they have either a galvanized or a lead service line. This is intended to encourage a proactive lead service line replacement. There would be a $750 rebate from the BPW for replacing the customer-owned portion from the curb box to the house. Previously, the deadline to apply was the later of 180 days from the property owner receiving notice of the lead service line, or 270 days of the ordinance's adoption, which was September 10th of 2025 when we had this. So the rebate opportunity would have expired in June of this year. This amendment extends the deadline to the end of this calendar year, or 180 days from when the property owner is first notified of the lead service line. All other sections of the ordinance are as is. Questions? Thank you. Ms. Bendy, may I please have a roll call?
Sure. Councilwoman Cusick?
Yes.
Councilman Grisoni?
Yes.
Councilman Guttwetter?
Yes.
Councilman Killman?
Yes.
Councilman Popolo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Poppy?
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 09-2026, please.
Final ordinance number 09-2026, an ordinance amending Chapter 7 of the Code of the Borough of Ramsey, Bergen County, New Jersey, and more particularly Section 7-32 thereof, entitled Mid-Block Crosswalks, have been brought up for public hearing, and all persons interested having been given an opportunity to be heard, pass final reading by title, and that said ordinance be adopted as an ordinance of the Borough of Ramsey. And be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be, and she hereby is directed to cause a copy of the title of said ordinance to be published in an official newspaper of the Borough in the manner provided by law, together with the notice of the date of the introduction and adoption of said ordinance.
Thank you very much. I'd like to second. Oh, yes, please. May I please have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I'd like to open this ordinance up for public hearing.
So just a comment that I would bring up. So ordinance 9-2020, oh, I'm sorry.
May I please open it up for public?
Oh, public.
Thank you very much, Councilman.
Good evening, Chance Parker, BRKER, Ramsey, New Jersey. I was just looking for perhaps the councilman's summary of this ordinance, please.
Okay, Councilman Popolo, can you please
Yep.
provide the summary?
So the ordinance
Thank
09-2026 amends Section 7-32 of the Mid-Block Crosswalk of Main Street. Ordinance 23-2025 created a new mid-block crosswalk on Main Street across from the high school by Veterans Park. Main Street is a county road, and in the county review of its ordinance, they asked that the borough slightly modify the distances in the ordinances of where the crosswalk would be located. This is the only change in this amendment ordinance and required to comply with the county.
Great. Thank you for that. Yeah, fully support this ordinance, of course. My work on the Environmental Commission, the Green Team, is orientated around a lot of pedestrian safety, crosswalks, bike trails, equitable access for all modes of transportation in and around the borough. I'm in the process of developing a map to identify different areas. Unfortunately, I missed the traffic presentation for Island Road. I'm not sure if it was brought up, but I would suggest or propose that we actually go to a 25-mile-an-hour borough-wide speed limit. That would, kind of address a lot of issues that the community has raised legitimately about traffic speeds and pedestrian safety. If they can do it in New York City, we can certainly do it in Ramsey, Boston, Washington, D.C., major metropolitan areas, as well as smaller cities and towns and boroughs all across the country are moving in this direction. I think there's also, just in addition to, mid-block crosswalks in this particular application, I think there's areas that we should probably look at in general, right? So fully support increasing pedestrian access to safely, transport across the busy thoroughfares, busy roads from key points of interest, schools, towns, the community center, right? There's a lot of signage issues that we're working with. So in general, I'm in support of this, and thank you for your time and attention to it.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. Appreciate it. Any other comments from the council, please? Thank you. I'd like to close this public hearing. And
Anybody on the phone?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Is there anybody on the telephone that would like to comment on Ordinance 09-2026? Not hearing any. I would like a roll call, please. And thank you very much, Ms. Medina.
Councilwoman Cusick?
Yes.
Councilman Grisoni?
Yes.
Councilman Gutwetter?
Yes.
Councilman Kilman?
Yes.
Councilman Popolo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Poppy?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Final ordinance for this evening, Ordinance 10-2026, please.
Thank you, Council President. An ordinance amending Chapter 7 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Ramsey, Bergen County, New Jersey, and more specifically Section 7-14 thereof entitled Parking Prohibited During Certain Hours on Certain Streets. Having been brought up for public hearing and all persons interested having been given an opportunity to be heard, pass final reading by title and that said ordinance be adopted as an ordinance of the Borough of Ramsey. And be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be, and she hereby is, directed to cause a copy of the title of said ordinance to be published in an official newspaper of the Borough in the manner provided by law, together with a notice of the date of introduction and adoption of said ordinance.
I second that.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you. I'd like to open Ordinance 10-2026, please, to public hearing. Not seeing anybody approach the podium, I'd like to ask if there is anybody on the phone who would like to comment on Ordinance 10-2026, please. Second call, 10-2026. Third and final for the telephone. Thank you very much. Any comments, please, regarding Ordinance 10-2026 from the council?
Yes, Council President. This ordinance clarifies the current code that there is no overnight parking at all on the streets in the borough 7 days a week other than on federal holidays. The previous language in the code created some confusion in its interpretation, and this amendment will clear that up and make it easier for residents to understand for compliance and police enforcement if needed.
Thank you very much, Councilman Schulman. Any other comments, please, from members of the council on Ordinance 10-2026?
I would say this is meant to address the issues, parking issues on Airmont that were commented on during February and March. Yes, Madam, if I missed before, said another thing. Mr. Marshall, please.
Thank you very much. Yes, I appreciate that, Madam Mayor. Okay, I would like to close the public hearing for ordinance 10-2026. And Ms. Bendian, may I please get a roll call?
Councilwoman Cusick?
Yes.
Councilman Grisoni?
Yes.
Councilman Gutwetter?
Yes.
Councilman Kilman?
Yes.
Councilman Popolo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Poppy?
Yes.
Thank you very much. There are no appointments for tonight. Consent resolutions, please.
Thank you, Council President. Cusick, be it resolved that resolution 086, 2026 through and including 091, 2026, having been considered by the governing body of the Borough of Ramsey be and are hereby passed and approved. There are no special permit requests. A block party request is on the ticket for tonight. Poplar Street is requesting permission to hold a block party on April 3rd, 2026 from 9 a.m. to 5:30. Nunc
No, pro-tunc.
Trunk.
No,
I don't know what
pro-tunc.
that means.
In the
Maybe
past.
somebody could tell me.
Already.
That was very fair. No,
Oh,
we have a
you're
Latin.
right. Pro-tunc. Mhm.
I just Latin. And he said it in Spanish, that's all I know.
Oh my gosh.
I'll second that.
Thank you very much. May I please have a roll call?
Councilwoman Cusick?
Yes.
Councilman Grisoni?
Yes.
Councilman Gutwetter?
Yes.
Councilman Kilman?
Yes.
Councilman Popolo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Poppy?
Yes.
If you're following on the agenda, we've already had our special presentation for the traffic unit, from our Ramsey Police Traffic Unit on the Island Road Traffic Study. Can we please go to committee and liaison reports? Finance and Administration, Councilman Michael Gutwetter.
Thank you, Council.
Shall I pass the phone down to you?
You know, if you want, I have to lean forward supposedly.
Unplug it.
Yeah.
Unplug it.
Thank you. My report for this evening, the Friends, this is on the library board. The Friends of the Ramsey Library Spring Used Book and Jewelry Fair taking place next week from Wednesday 15th to Sunday the 19th. The Friends of the Ramsey Library sponsor the library's Museum Pass program, Sunday afternoon concert series, and summer reading program. The library will be running a glow-in-the-dark egg hunt. Interested families can register for a time slot on the library website. There are 200 participants expected for this event. On April 24th, the library is hosting members of the Ramsey High School robotics team. They'll give an introduction to engineering at electives and clubs offered at Smith School, provide a robotics demonstration. Residents can check the library's website for spring programming. Recreation Commission registration for spring sports available on the Recreation website. There are links for the various sports. Summer day camp at Finch Park registration for campers and employment is open. And spring men's and women's adult softball league registration and play begins this month. The farmers market is open from 10 to 1 to the end of this month. In May, the hours change from 9 to 2. The Touch a Truck event will be scheduled for April 26th, sponsored by the Ramsey Juniors. And on May 3rd, the Ramsey Area Garden Club plant sale at the Masonic Lodge will take place, sponsored by the Ramsey Women's Club. That's my report for this evening.
Thank you, Councilman Gutwetter. May you pass the phone down to the secretary, please? Thank you. Public Safety, Councilman Peter Kilman.
Thank you, Council President. First off, the Board of Health will be meeting tomorrow at 8 p.m. So once we have that meeting, I'll report on anything of interest to our community. Also tomorrow at 11 a.m., the senior trustees, the senior center trustees will be meeting, and that's open to all seniors who would like to attend. There is an event that I want to point out on April 16th at 1 p.m. The Ramsey Police Department will do a presentation on fraud and scams. I highly recommend that presentation to anyone who is interested because there's plenty of it going around. And regarding our newest emergency services complex, in February, Netta Architects and the Ramsey Emergency Services Building Committee presented an overview of the project's design. At this time, the design is nearing completion. Members of the borough's Emergency Services Building Committee have worked hard to develop a highly functional, state-of-the-art complex while keeping the costs within realistic parameters. Our new emergency services complex is intended to serve our community for many years to come. Once completed, reviewed, and approved by the mayor and council, we expect to go out for bid sometime in the second quarter of 2026. We will also showcase the new emergency services building drawings at a future mayor and council meeting to be determined. And that is my report for this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Councilman Gilman. Building, Planning, and Zoning, Councilman Chris Crisoni, please.
Thank you, Council President. I do not have anything to report on the Design Review Board this month, as our meeting's not until April 28th. And I also do not have anything to report on the Zoning Board, as our meeting is not until April 15th, which is next week. So that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Crisoni. Thank you. Utilities, Buildings, and Grounds, Councilwoman Judy Cusick. I thank our Ramsey Police Department and the Public Safety Committee, chaired by Councilman Gilman, for their follow-through of the Island Road traffic safety presentation this evening, and also for Ordinance 1021 regarding the overnight parking. Thank you. My report will update regarding our Planning Board, Shade Tree Commission, and the Board of Public Works. The Ramsey Planning Board, the Planning Board met on the 7th of April, last night. The next meeting is April 21st, 2026, but I believe that has been canceled.
There's no April 21st.
Thank you. So that meeting has been canceled. The next meeting will be the first Tuesday in May. At the meeting yesterday, there was one public hearing for the Okanite Cable Company, and the project to build a laboratory building was approved. The no-knock registry. The borough maintains a no-knock registry that allows residents to opt out of door-to-door commercial solicitation. Addresses on this list may not be approached by licensed commercial solicitors. It covers commercial and door-to-door solicitation by licensed businesses. It does not cover nonprofit groups, charities, religious organizations, or political organizations. Enroll by visiting the borough website and complete the online application. You can search no-knock list. Our Shade Tree Commission last met on the 19th of March. However, there was no quorum, so the meeting was canceled. The next meeting is confirmed to be now, the 23rd of April, which is a date change. Ramsey has been a tree city for 30 years now. Spring planting, preparation, and start of spring planting is ongoing. For the Board of Public Works, it last met on the 16th of March. The next meeting is the 20th of April. The BPW continues planning and implementing measures to comply with NJDEP's lead service line replacement mandate, requiring all lead service lines in the water system be replaced by 2031. The borough will cover the cost of replacing the portion of the water service line it owns, while property owners are responsible for the portion they own. And we talked about Ordinance 08/2026 this evening. And finally, hydrant flushing. The Ramsey Public Works is conducting fire hydrant flushing, which started this week and will have a duration through the end of this month. Please check the borough website for details and dates. That's my report for this evening. Now I would like to ask Councilwoman Sarah Poppy for Public and Governmental Relations. Wait till I pass the phone to you, please.
Thank you, Council President Cusick.
There you go.
The Ramsey Municipal Pool has opened their early bird registration. Residents are encouraged to register early. Early registration is open until May 1st, and you will save $100 on your registration if you register by May 1st. They will be meeting again next Wednesday, April 15th at 7:30 p.m. at Borough Hall. We are currently planning America's 250th birthday celebration. We have a committee formed of local organizations, and we have a great weekend of events in process. So stay tuned for communications on what those are and the timing of those as we get a little closer. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman Poppy. Health, Education, and Social Services, Councilman Glenn Popolo.
Thank you, Council President Cusick. I will begin with Rife. Just two updates. Opening day softball will be April 18th, 3 p.m., Finch Park, Field 1. And 2, the Spring Fling Dance, which is May 1st at 7 p.m. at St. Paul's Cafeteria. So, exciting events for Rife that are coming up for those two events. Environmental Commission. So, Ramsey Cleanup Day 4/18, that's at 9 a.m. So, if you can volunteer and help keep the great town clean, that would be great. The EV Car Show is the following day, Sunday 4/19, 9 at 1. And the plastic toy collection is also the 19th, and that's at the Farmers Market. The next meeting for environmental is April 14th. For Ramsey Municipal Alliance, just a reminder, RamFest event is on Friday, May 1st at Ramsey High School on the front lawn. And the Board of Ed, the next meeting is on 4/28. So that concludes my report tonight.
Thank you very much, Councilman. Madam Mayor Dillon, please.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. As Councilman Popolo mentioned, the RamFest, which means Ramsey Agrees Mental Health Matters Festival, is on May 1st, and a lot of people are working on it, so we hope it's a successful event and that the weather cooperates, because it's on the front lawn. So there we go. I'd like to thank the Public Safety Committee and Officer Lieutenant Canonico and Officer Gilly for the presentation regarding traffic calming solutions for Island Road. The ideas seem very doable and cost effective, so I'm glad that they're going to move forward with them. I also want to say thank you to Councilwoman Poppy, Borough Clerk Vivian, and Deputy Borough Clerk Sylvester for the Ramsey Journal, another successful issue, so thank you. Appreciate it. I got mine today.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And regarding Okanite, I just, their headquarters is in Ramsey, right up off the hilltop. And Okanite is a employee-owned company that makes cables for the electric industry. And this is like Rockland Electric, Public Service. You're not going to find them at Home Depot.
Industrial.
Yeah, they make real big industrial. And it's really, I think, it looks very well upon Ramsey that Okanite wants to move its lab and testing facility from Patterson into Ramsey and construct a multi-million-dollar building to house this new facility. So last night we were so thankful. It was a long hearing. We didn't finish until 9:30 last night, but it was so worth it. And everybody I felt on the planning board was so happy that it passed unanimously and excited that Okanite is investing in Ramsey. So, and they're like, they look 50 years ahead, and so they're really investing with us. So very happy about
Where
that.
will that be?
Up on Hilltop.
Right.
It's
Where
right.
they are
It's
now.
going to be right adjacent to their existing headquarters.
Incredible, yeah. You can find information on them on the web, but it was fascinating. It's a fascinating read, and
Yeah.
it was a wonderful presentation. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, and also thank you to Mike McMahon. Last night was his first night on the planning board, his first hearing. I'm like, okay, it was a good one. There was a lot of expert testimony last night. So anyway, that's all I have to everybody, and have a good night.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Borough Administrator Bose?
Oh, sorry, Bruce.
That's okay.
Thank you, Council President. I'll just comment, one of the resolutions, number 91 on the agenda, we currently belong to the Bergen County Utility Authority's Waste Cooperative Marketing Program. There was a 2-year contract that expires at the end of May. Bergen County Utility Authority has extended their contract with Waste Management for 1 more year through May 31st of 2027. So we're extending our participation in the program for another year, coterminous with the expiration of their agreement with Waste Management, and pricing for the 1-year extension be a couple dollars per ton more than the prior 2-year agreement, but under about a 4% increase. We have an ordinance on for introduction tonight, Ordinance 11 of 2026. This bond ordinance addresses capital improvements in 4 different areas. It provides supplemental funding for the resurfacing and new lighting for the pickleball and basketball courts at Finch Park for $320,000. This ordinance provides supplemental funding for the project upgrades on the Finch Park pickleball and basketball courts with the removal of the court surface and full resurfacing of all the courts. Subsequent to the original design and funding, the borough has added 2 additional pickleball courts to the project, which also extends the lighting aspect of the project. And in addition, after reviewing the options of asphalt courts versus post-tension concrete, the recommendations of the engineer and the contractors in this field was to go with the post-tension concrete for better long-term value and durability of the playing surface, and it includes a 50-year warranty on cracking, which is certainly a lot longer than asphalt would be. Over the last few years, the borough has sought out and received 3 different grants for this project work, which cumulatively total $312,775, which will reduce the borough's net cost of the project. Second aspect to this ordinance is resurfacing of Shadyside Road, allocated $515,000. The borough will be resurfacing Shadyside Road later this year. The borough had over the last 2 years applied for and received 2 different municipal aid grants from the state totaling $427,528. These grants are reimbursements to the borough after project completion and will cover over 80% of the project cost for Shadyside. The next aspect is safety improvements in the vicinity of Tisdale School, around estimated project $335,000. This project will consist of sidewalk and curb replacements in the area of Tisdale School, along with some pedestrian crossing signals. The borough, again, on this project sought out, applied for, and received grant funding in the amount of $250,000. The grant, again, will reimburse the borough upon project completion, and again, will cover about 75% of the project cost. The 4th component is our annual 2026 road resurfacing. The ordinance provides $290,000 for that. That will be partial funding. We have some leftover funds in some of our road resurfacing ordinance previous, so our total will be more than the $290,000 for the streets this year, probably in the $400 to $450 range. And that's for roads not in addition to Shadyside Road. The only other thing I would mention is the municipal budget timeline we had at the last meeting, March 25th. Done the budget presentation, introduction of the budget. Both of the budget presentation document and the municipal budget are posted on the borough website. April 22nd is advertised. It will be the public hearing on the budget and the vote on the adoption of the 2026 budget. And I would also mention the borough is continuing also to do its annual budget brochure, which has been completed, is at the printers, and will be mailed out in advance of the April 22nd meeting. And that would conclude my comments.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bose. Borough Attorney? Thank you. Borough Clerk
I
Benyon?
have nothing, thank you.
Thank you very much. Introduction of ordinances, please.
Thank you, Council President Cusick. This is the introduction of ordinance 11, 2026. Be it resolved, an ordinance entitled "Bond Ordinance to Authorize the Making of Various Public Improvements in and by and for the Borough of Ramsey in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $1,460,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriations, and provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. Pass the first reading by title, and that said ordinance be further considered for final passage and adoption at a regular meeting of the mayor and council to be held on the 22nd day of April 2026, 7 p.m. prevailing time, or as soon after as the matter can be reached at the municipal building in said borough, and be it further resolved that the borough clerk be hereby instructed to publish in an official newspaper of the borough in the manner provided by law a copy of said ordinance together with notice of the introduction thereof, and notice when the same will be considered for final passage and adoption.
I'll second that.
Thank you very much. This is a roll call. Thank you. May
I would just, if I could just
yes,
make one
thank
more,
you.
I would just say that I did, in my comments about it, I didn't total up the cumulative, which I had done, and I forgot to mention. Cumulatively, we have grants of approximately $990,000 for the projects that are in this grant that will offset the cost. So it's a pretty significant amount when you
That is
look through the
very
amounts.
significant. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. Ordinance 11-2026, may I please have a roll call?
Councilwoman Cusick?
Yes.
Councilman Grisoni?
Yes.
Councilman Gutwetter?
Yes.
Councilman Kilman?
Yes.
Councilman Popolo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Poppins?
Yes.
Thank you very much, council members. Is there any unfinished business for this evening? Any new business? I'm not sure if Mr. Councilman Gutwetter mentioned it, but April 18th is also the RBSA baseball softball parade at 9 a.m. So it will be a very busy day in Ramsey on Saturday, the 18th. We hope for good weather. May I please have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion. A second.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
No. We adjourn. Thank you very much.
Bye.
I held that the whole meeting and then it